Hi and welcome back to Yoga Berry. I'm Christine Jareggi-Berry. I'm a yoga teacher specializing in yoga for scoliosis. I teach one-to-one and online classes. And today we're going to talk about side plank, which is a fantastic pose for scoliosis as it strengthens the sides of the body. There's also been an extensive study by Dr. Lauren Fishman about side plank and how it can actually correct your curvature. Now, if you are going down that route, I would strongly suggest that you get an X-ray first of all, so you have a confirmed image, and you know exactly what curvature you're working with. You might want to have a one-to-one consultation with Lauren Fishman if you are not sure. And I am saying all of this because I personally don't use that pose to correct my curvature. I use it to strengthen my body, and that's what we're going to talk about today. I've got another video about what side to practice this pose on, so I will link to that. There's a lot more explanation of if you want to use it for correcting your curvature. But briefly, we are looking to strengthen the sides of the body. I feel that it's important to strengthen both sides of the body. However, if you're going down the correction route, it would be the convex side of the lumbar curve that you're looking to correct. Again, if you are going down that route, please do your research. Please have a look at some more videos, and again, I will link to them in the description. But let's get started with our pose today. Good, so we are going to do a beginner's version today, and we're going to start lying on the side. And let's keep the hips down, and what we're looking to do is aligning the heels with the hips and then the elbow. So I'm bringing my forearm down. So just notice I'm not going into the full plank version, which you might have seen, which would be on your hand and then up this way. This is quite an advanced version. So we are going to start slowly and then building it up. So practice this version for a few weeks before you attempt any other version here. And so just kind of lying on your side here, and make sure that you don't collapse into the ground, but you want to slightly lift away from the ground. Now, if you know what your curvature is, so for me, I've got a left lumbar curve. I know that I need to lengthen that right side of the waist a little bit more. And these are things that we're going through in my 4 weeks course as well. So if you're looking to dive a little bit deeper into the topic of yoga for scoliosis, then do join us on there. Good, so just feel the underside of the body here. So you might notice how the muscles already are starting to engage just by actively lifting away. And that is already a variation of plank pose. So what we're going to do is we're going to work with this dynamically. So we're allowing just for the waist to slightly collapse and then lifting away from the floor. So ever so slightly, not all the way down, but just a little bit of collapsing and then lifting away. So let's do this 3 or 4 times. So dropping and lifting, dropping and lifting, just to get that action and waking up those muscles. And then for the last one, we're going to hold this. So really lifting away from the floor. Make sure you're not sinking into your elbow, into the shoulder, so pressing the floor away from you. And then the head should be in line with the rest of the body. So often the tendency is to bring the head forward, but we really want to keep it in line. You can also practice this against the wall. So if you have the wall behind you, it can give you some feedback about where your head should be. Good, so let's take another few breaths here. And then let's release and come over to the other side. So let's bring the forearm down. Again, check your alignment, elbow in line with the hips, in line with the heels. So I've got my knees bent for this version. Underside of the body. So this is my again with the lumbar curve, this is my concave side here, the right side. So I'm slightly bringing the hips a little bit further down just to keep that underside long. So I don't want to squash it too much. I'm bringing my hand onto the hip, and then again just working on this little action of lifting away from the floor and then slightly letting the waist come back down. So lifting away and then coming back down. So let's just do that a few times, just getting those muscles to work. And this is another reason why I don't practice this. Personally, I don't practice this pose one-sided, because I feel both of my sides of the body need that strength. So it's not only one side. Good. So let's hold this last version. So let's keep lifting away from the floor, finding that good alignment for the head. So chin is slightly in, really lengthening through the crown of the head. Let's hold it for a few breaths here. So it doesn't look like very much, but there is definitely a lot happening if you're doing this correctly. Making sure that you're pressing the forearm slightly into the ground, so you're lifting away from the floor. Good. Let's take one more breath. And then let's come back up and change sides again. Good. So let's come back to the first side. And what you could always do, if you are looking to go down the correction path, again, I'm not saying that this is actually working, but there has been a lot of research and study, and Lauren Fishman has had some really good results with this pose. What you could always do is maybe practice your convex side twice and then a concave side once. I would rather do that rather than just doing one side, personally. Good, so let's take it into the next variation. So this time I'm actually going to lift my hips away from the floor. So I'm lifting up. This is a lot harder. So if that first version was enough for you, then stay with that. Again, notice if your head comes forward, so bring your head back and then maybe lifting the top arm up towards the ceiling. You can really feel the work here in the underside of the body. And then the head you could either look straight ahead or maybe turning the head, even though I'd rather work on the nice alignment here of the head. You might notice I finding it now difficult to talk, as it's quite difficult. Let's take another couple of breaths. And then let's release. Good. So let's do this all over on the other side. And the first step might just be to notice which side is stronger. So if you feel really a big difference, then this might be an indication that you might want to strengthen that other side a little bit more. Good. So when you're ready, lifting the hips off the ground and then reaching with the arm up towards the ceiling. Find that good alignment for the head. So chin slightly in. Keep breathing. So I'm aiming for about 4 or 5 breaths here. And then let's release. Good. So make sure not to overdo it. If you're just starting out with this pose, you can obviously build this up. So you can build it up longer, hold it a little bit longer, and then maybe going eventually for the straight arm and straight leg version. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I know there's always a lot of questions about side planks, so feel free to leave me any questions in the comments. Make sure to check out some of the other videos which might give you a little bit more explanation of on which side to do this pose. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you very soon for the next video.